Yeah, so do you think we should just get started?
Um, are we waiting on Mike still or something?
Yeah, I was going to wait on him, but I think we could just get started.
He says he's watching, but he can't connect.
Oh,
Oh, he's probably having the same problem I had.
yeah, he probably needs a plug-in. Well, I'll get started and then we can loop back if we need to. But
Okay.
I don't want to get into the complete basics, but I'm going to point out just some of the key factors, and you can jump in here if I forget anything.
Okay.
So ideally, there's online and offline wallets, and sometimes they're referred to as hot and cold wallets. So if you're going to be online and you're wanting to spend, keep them on a wallet where they're really easy to get to, that would be like a hot wallet.
Right.
So, like for example, Coinbase is technically a hot wallet because it's online. There's a website for it, and you can get at it really fast as long as you're connected to the internet. And there is a web interface, and there's also a Coinbase app that you can download. So it's really flexible. You can get to it really easily. And then on the other side, a cold wallet is similar to what I showed earlier, the Ledger wallet. It's just like a USB stick. A cold wallet could also be, you could even print out like a piece of paper, and it has the public key and the private key with it. And that can be a cold wallet too, because a cold wallet is taken offline. It's completely disconnected from the internet. And some security experts even say when you plug it into a computer, that computer should not even have internet when you connect it. So, I mean, there's various levels of security. You can go to the extremes if you wanted to. And
Right.
that was part of the reason that so many security experts are loving Bitcoin, is that you can completely go all the way to one extreme if you want, and they love that, and it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Correct. Yeah. And of course, nowadays all kinds of wallets are out there that we need to look at. And my favorites, include a top-notch security, and that's what we need to talk about, is the security of protecting your wallet as well as protecting your password. So let's talk about that today.
Okay, so when you're new, when you're brand new to Bitcoin and you hear about wallets all the time, at some point you realize you have to have a wallet to store Bitcoins. You have to have it. No matter what kind it is, it's going to be some type of wallet. And what I heard from the group in Ghana is that they were creating multiple wallets, and there were multiple people sharing a wallet, which is a really kind of red flag, is that you don't normally want to do that. So, for example, if I didn't know how to make a wallet and David knew how to make a wallet, and we were living right next door to each other, we'd be like, hey, I'm going to come over, and then we're just going to create a wallet together. And for some things that you work together on, you could do that. You could say, let's sit down and make something together. Well, for some people that have never had a bank account before, it's one of the most private things you could do, is making something that will hold your money. And I just know that, like with my bank account, if I do something with my bank account, I would not want anyone else around. I would want to do it myself. So I guess the point that I'm making here is that if you want to learn how to make a wallet, you could have someone show you how to make a wallet, but don't use that wallet that you're demonstrating. You would want to then go again and make another wallet when you're by yourself, is what I'm trying to say.
Correct. So if you're making a wallet, you need to think about a couple things, including not sharing your password with anyone. If you have a wallet, it's your wallet. And when your Bitcoin is in your wallet, no one should have access to that Bitcoin except for you. Now, there are multi-sig wallets, multi-sig transactions, things like that, but a basic wallet should be your wallet. And of course, when it comes to a new user, if they're shown a Bitcoin wallet, pick another Bitcoin wallet or the same wallet, app or whatever, and just make another wallet, or pick another wallet app and use a whole nother service. I have 3 different wallet apps. I use offline, online, multiple wallets, and never keep all of your Bitcoin in one wallet. So there's multiple points to opening a wallet, as well as exactly what Brock just said.
Yep, and that was the next thing I listed, is your choice of wallet. Is that there's a lot of different vendors out there, and we named a few of them, and there's probably, what would you say, maybe 50 different vendors out there of wallets.
Probably.
So between the offline and online wallets, I showed you a hardware wallet. So there's a lot of them out there, and you'll have different people with their own preference. And it's really good to do a lot of research before you actually choose one. And I mean, you could make a bunch of wallets, but then it really determines when you get ready to get Bitcoin into that wallet. That's really when you determine, like, that's when you want. Here's my cat. Here, you want to be on TV? There you go. Cats, they got to be in the middle of everything.
That's right. You want to type. So now with your favorite wallets, let's go over some reasons you choose these wallets. There's many wallets out there. Why would I choose a specific wallet over another wallet? And another thing we want to discuss is how to either have an automatic reuse of a wallet address, or having to manually readjust your wallet address every transaction to maintain anonymity, or if you want to be transparent, continue using the exact same wallet address, and how that basically leaves you exposed to public view. And we'll get into talking about that and how we can trace Bitcoin transactions to wallets and whatnot.
Yep. So I think the next thing, I'm thinking back to when I first started using Bitcoin, is that I didn't realize that you can have as many wallets as you want, and which is what you briefly touched on. And it's like, not only can you have multiple wallets with multiple different companies, but you could take, in some instances, you could like, if you wanted to have a paper wallet, you could print out one wallet, and then like 10 minutes later, you could print another paper wallet. And the good thing about that is you can deposit your Bitcoins wherever you want. It's completely up to you. But then the more wallets you make, then it gets to be a little bit crazy, because then you have to keep track of all of them, right?
Right.
So that was one of the very first things when I was learning about wallets, is that, oh, what happens if I want to create a second wallet? Like, what do I need to do? And you just keep making them. So
yep.
I think for brand new users, that's kind of a concept you have to, because usually I only have with fiat currency, I have one wallet, and then if I get a new wallet, I just get rid of the old wallet. Where
right.
In Bitcoin, it's like you have a wallet, and if you're connected to a wallet, you may just always have that wallet. Some people get rid of them, but there's like a process for that. So yeah, that's just something I came across early on, is just trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and you may never use it again, but you may always have access to it. Or you may not have access to it, but you still have it.
Right.
Basically,
Yeah.
lose your password or whatnot. Which brings up another point. We may need, one big problem when you're opening a wallet is not remembering your password. So always write down the password when you're creating the password on your wallet. The password is your private key. Do not give that out to anyone, but many times Bitcoin is lost in wallets due to losing a password. So that is one of the important things. And then secure that password somewhere where it's secure, a bank vault or something like that, so that you never lose it if you forget it.
Yeah, and another point to go along with that, something I heard the other day, is that you want to secure your password to your online wallet, but then you also want to secure almost all those online wallets. They ask for an email address.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is you also need to secure your email password and the recovery process for your email in almost the same way as you're securing your Bitcoin wallet password.
Yeah. So you need to, make sure that your passwords are private, basically.
Yeah.
And that you make sure that you remember them, but somehow maintain privacy on them and don't let anyone else see them. And that's a big point on security, of course.
Yeah.
Traditional banking vaults are good places to put them. And of course, people bury them in the yard, unmarked, things like this. It's really hard to remember a long, hard to decrypt password, basically, so that's kind of why people start to lose them, because they try to make the password so hard no one can break in, and then forget it.
Yep. Exactly.
First time use and don't go back for 5 days and you forget what you wrote. That's a problem. So always, that's a big point I got to make.
Yeah, and I keep thinking back to, if there's a new user that's in Ghana and there's a lot of people that get email and they're starting to understand about having email and having a password to your email.
Mm-hmm.
But some people that I've talked to, they actually, I'll ask them, if I'm helping on a project and we have a shared email account, then I'll say to them, what's your password? And they'll just give it to me, and they don't really know me. And it's really important that you have to really trust somebody in order to give them your password, because a lot of times if they get your password, that's everything. They're just going to have access to it. And there's a lot of people out there that, you think you trust them, and, there's a lot of bad people out there.
Right. So, yeah, you don't want to give your password out. Now, when it comes to, sharing passwords, things like that, what about sharing your public key, and what can be done about that? If you share your public key with somebody, you identify yourself to that public key, and that public key is obviously public. And that's what you want to get into the issue, the search that we were in last night.
Yeah, so I'll set it up and then I'll let you take it.
Sure.
So this girl named Ashley, who lives in Ghana, she was going to attend a program, which is kind of like a beauty contest or something, and she was accepting donations. So people were sending her donations in Bitcoin, and she needed a wallet, but she created a wallet with, as far as I understand it, she created a wallet with somebody, and then so it was a shared wallet. But then she also talked to someone else who had their own wallet, and she ended up giving me the wallet address, which is kind of like an email address, which is identifying where the Bitcoin's going to go, just like for an email address, where you're going to send an email. So it'd be a public address. She gave me the public address, and then I sent Bitcoin to that address. And then a couple days later, she said, this wallet's empty. And I was shocked because I thought that was her wallet. I assumed that it was her wallet, it was only hers, and no one else had access. So when you're thinking of it that way, it wouldn't make sense how you would look at your wallet and all of a sudden all your Bitcoin's gone. Like, normally that wouldn't make any sense. But when you have multiple people on it, then you get into the question, okay, who has access and where did it all go? And I think that's where we get to the point of starting to track how you actually track Bitcoin going through the blockchain.
Right. And so basically what we had to do is take these known wallet addresses, basically Ashley's, and then the other address that was given to, I guess, you a couple of days later, and research where these transactions went. So we basically went to I went to blockchain.info, and you just put in that wallet address, whatever you're looking for in the search, and it pops out a whole list of transactions on that wallet. Now, if there was only one transaction on that wallet, it would show only one transaction, but it showed all the transactions on the wallet. And from there, we could deduct that, one of your donations was in there, one of my donations was in there, and we knew that was the wallet we had sent to. And then we followed where our donation had gone, respectively, and we found that the receiving address at the other end matched one of a known address, basically searched on Google and found a connection through an identity, and it happened to be a mistake that had happened. So we found the mistake, and Ashley has now her money back. But it required some blockchain investigation, I guess you should say. And that's the address right there that Brock is showing you. And basically, we looked up the address on blockchain info.
Yeah, so I'm going to put the address in here. And this is the Bitcoin address that Ashley gave to me. So I'll just search for it now.
There you go. So as you can see, there's transactions on that wallet. And I believe the second transaction there's 7 transactions total. The total 0.22 Bitcoin received, and there's 0 left. So it all gets sent out. Her wallet is empty. Obviously, somebody sent the Bitcoin out of the wallet, and so you can scroll down and you can actually see when it was received and when it was sent, and you can look at the transaction ID on the left and the wallet receiving on the right, and it actually shows the amount. Okay. So you can deduct that the small amounts are basically micro payment type amounts. I'm not quite sure what those are, but I was following the top wallet with say, for example, the 3348 there. And when you go to that wallet, you'll see more transactions and more receiving and sending of funds, or it may end. So you can see if those Bitcoin are in that wallet still or not. And through investigation of the blockchain, you can find out where that wallet, where the Bitcoin went through the wallets. And that's basically what we had to do to find out that it was accidentally sent to somebody that was supposed to cash it out for the money required, the fiat required for this pageant or whatnot, and it was a mistake. He had thought that he had bought that Bitcoin, which was another transaction, and you would have actually seen all that on the transaction list here. And so it was kind of funny how that had happened, and that we could investigate it enough to figure out where the donation had went and resolve the problem of the missing Bitcoin. It's basically that one.
So just to step through here a little bit slower for like all the new people. So this transaction, actually the date, you kind of watch the date and the time of each of these transactions. So if you go back to I'm going to go back to the very beginning, and it basically shows that on September 11th of this year, she started giving out this wallet address. So this over here is someone else's wallet ID, and they sent from that ID to her wallet 45 cents here, and someone sent her $51 from these two wallet addresses here. So you can kind of step through it. On a certain day, this amount of money went from this wallet to this wallet. So then on that same day, actually, it would have been like a half an hour later, it's automatically cleared out from that account, and it was sent to a new wallet. And if I'm understanding it right, this 59 cents is like a fee, either like a transaction fee or a minor fee. So then we know right now this $52 is in this wallet here. And this is actually, you can click on this. And then the other thing you can look at, like if you wanted to trace it, you could click on it and actually follow it basically through the blockchain. So this wallet received $52, and then someone else donated to Ashley's wallet because it matches the one that we were looking at before. So this was what we thought was Ashley's wallet, and she received $16 from all of these addresses here. And you can actually, what's nice is you can click on it and you can actually see what it was in Bitcoin. So when you're saying you're sending Bitcoin, you can also translate it into US dollars on this site. So if anyone else is watching from other countries, you know, there may be another currency, and that may get confusing. So right now we're just basically talking either US dollars or Bitcoin. So fast forward, and we're September 30th. It just looks like as soon as funds are received, a few days later, or sometimes the same day, someone is going in there and just clearing it out. Now, those 79 cents is all the fees or other payments, but the main thing was, you know, there's another $33 going to this specific wallet. And then the other thing I noticed right away is that this wallet for this amount is not the same as this wallet for this amount. So if you think about that, that is somebody is sending money out of this account to various wallets. Because usually it's like, if it was me, I mean, that's one way to hide your identity, is that you try not to send it the many transactions, sending it out of one wallet to the similar wallet, because people can start to put the pieces together a lot easier that way.
Right. Well, it looks like because the top wallet there got $33.48 and the total transaction was minus $16, it looks like this transaction was sent to that wallet along with multiple other wallets sending enough to make $33.48. I believe that's what's going on there.
Okay.
Because that's why it doesn't match. But
sorry, can you say that one more time?
So, you know, it says $33.48, but under it in red it says minus 16. That doesn't match. So what I think is going on is that the 3348 is the total that was received on that transaction to 18QMR1, that wallet. But only 16 of it came from this wallet. The other, what would that be? 17.
Yeah.
17 was sent from another or 3 other wallets, and it looks like that other transaction below it. I'd imagine.
Okay. Yeah, I don't fully understand all of that.
Yep. That's what's going on, though. So it basically was sent with other addresses to that wallet.
Okay. So then on November 12th, she told me like she needed money for the pageant. So I was like, yeah, I'll send you a little bit of money. Like, how much do you need? And she's like, I need a lot of money in order to make this pageant. And I said, well, I can give you, I could only afford to give $7. And one of these 3 is my wallet. And it went to that same wallet that she gave me, and in the amount of $7. And then you can see the very next day, it was sent from the wallet, and $54 was sent here, is the way I'm understanding it. Or is it only the $7?
No, so 54 was sent to that address, I would say.
Okay.
Click on it. See if there's 54 sent there. That's the only way to tell, I'd say. Click on it and see what happened on that end.
Yeah, I just clicked on it, and right now the balance of that wallet is $2.79.
Right, but that transaction there on the 13th of November.
Right here.
Yeah, there we go. See, it's $50. Is that the one? I'll go down a little more.
Well,
That's not. That looks like it. Oh,
this one,
just below it. The 54 in green. That's the receiving. They received $54 there. So yeah, that's 7. Sorry,
so
the 16 went with another. See, there's multiple addresses there on the left.
Yeah. So they're basically all those $3 amounts add up to the 54. So mine was $7. And so then 40, I don't know, 47 between the other 2 was $47. So basically they're moving funds from that one that was Ashley's wallet to now we know this is the new wallet. And on this day, they received the $54 from those 3. So then that's this wallet we're in now. And then you have to start to track like what else is going on with this wallet. So are these transactions, these are all the transactions for this wallet, right?
Correct.
So this wallet only had 6 transactions where, I might have a wallet and I might be using the same wallet for a long time. And, there could be like 100 transactions.
Right.
So it seems to me like this address was just used temporarily just for that day. And they have no plans to use this address again. But the only thing is they still have some money in there.
Right. They'll probably take that out at some point.
Yeah, at some point. And I mean, if they're using a wallet like Coinbase or like blockchain, then when they go to send it, they could grab different amounts from different wallet IDs under one wallet in order to make the full amount.
Yeah, so this could be part of that.
Yep.
But you notice under it, they didn't send to the same address, so it looks like they're splitting it there as well. So it could be a sale or whatever. Like at this point, you don't know what's going on. They could be moving it between their own wallets, or it could be in someone else's hand after that.
Yeah. So like if there is an exchange, let's say in Ghana there is either an exchange or if let's say the person that was withdrawing money, if it's Ashley or some other person, was wanting to, sell the Bitcoin and get local currency, they would either go to an exchange or they would go to someone else that had the local currency that wanted to buy Bitcoin. Then at that point, they are selling to another address, and that could just be just some local that wanted Bitcoin. They have no idea that these funds that are being moved are, whether they're like that person's funds or if they got them from somewhere else. Like, you have no idea. There's no way to know. And I mean, that's a good thing, and it can also be a bad thing if you're a proponent of, we need to track all the money. That gets to be kind of a gray area.
So, obviously there will be solutions in the future for that kind of thing. But, at this point, it's really, really hard to track something like this until, unless this person had obviously posted their address online, and it was easily found on a search engine or something like that, it would be incredibly hard to find it. I wonder what. Oh, never mind.
So there's a quick point I want to make to anyone watching this that has to do with your privacy. So it's kind of the other side to this whole thing, where this is public information, so anyone can go out and look at any of this. So back here on this transaction, it ends in SNJ. We know that is part of a wallet that Ashley was using. But in order to know that, you basically relate this wallet ID back to an actual person. So on one hand, you're trying to trace it. And then on the other hand, if you want to protect your identity and how money is moving, you kind of have to be aware that these tools are out there, and you want to try and limit the amount of times you're saying, hey, this is my wallet ID, because then anyone listening will basically know, oh, that's your wallet address. So then they can always know that that's your wallet address. Because, like, let's say, David, you would never use that wallet address, right? Because it's used once for that specific wallet. And like the chance of a wallet address in blockchain also being used for a wallet address in another vendor, like, can the different vendors reuse addresses?
No, I believe they generate them. But there's different types of wallet addresses out there. And obviously you can Wikipedia that, Bitcoin wallet address, but it's not like Coinbase or somebody has a specific wallet address, so you can pinpoint like it starts with a 1N, that must be this wallet. So it's all random at that point.
Because I'm thinking like 20 years in the future, they're still generating all these IDs, and then me as an old man, I have an old wallet sitting out there, and all of a sudden $100 flies into it because someone, you know what I'm saying? Like, someone somewhere sent $100, and I mean, maybe it would be $50 to one, $50 to the other. I don't even know how that would work, but somehow there must be something that basically does not reuse these addresses. And I mean, obviously it's case sensitive, so you can see like upper and lowercase letters. So they have so many characters that it's almost impossible for one of these to get reused. Right. But I mean, a long time ago they might have said like IPv4 would never run out, and we did. So I mean, somewhere in the future, 200 years from now, there may be some other convention for doing wallet addresses.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at that point, we'll see. Or will we?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll be around or not, but
So yeah, basically this is how we found out. Obviously we didn't find where the Bitcoin went on this transaction. We did say that we found out that obviously what was going on after asking around, but this is how this is where you can go to investigate where your Bitcoin had gone, basically, to try and find out if you can retrieve it, or if it was a mistake or anything like that. Obviously this isn't something that is normal because you have your password. That's the idea.
yeah. So there's two other things I wrote down that I'm going to touch on briefly, and then we can finish up and talk about anything else that's out there. The first thing is, it's really obvious, and we might have said it already, but every wallet has a public key and a private key. And they basically mean exactly what they say. Like public, you give out, just like you give out your email address. If you look on the screen, those are examples of what public keys are. So obviously this site is writing all these addresses down. You can give someone your public address, and that's how they send you money. And then there is a similar key, which is your private key, that every wallet has. And I'll show you my wallet right now. This is my wallet at Coinbase. I'm signed in, and here's all my transactions. And if I want to receive money from somebody, and never have your computer save your password. That's like the worst thing you can do. So my wallet, right here, I can click on my wallet address, and this is my Bitcoin public address for my wallet. So if someone wanted to send me Bitcoin, I would just send them this, or you can even save this picture of your QR code as an image, and you can send that, and they can use their phones to actually send Bitcoin with a QR code. So my point is that there's a public key and there's a private key. And if someone sees your private key, they basically have access to your wallet. They can basically recreate your wallet using your private key. So that's the first thing I was going to point out. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on is what a password is versus what a private key is. So for my wallet here at Coinbase, I have a password to sign in to the website. And then there's also a private key with this wallet. And obviously I wouldn't be showing it right now to the world on YouTube about what my private key is. And it's actually hidden in like advanced settings, and you actually have to click like 4 or 5 times to dig down. Like Coinbase is basically saying, are you sure you want to look at your private key? Because usually if they're doing everything for you, there really is no reason to show your private key. But every once in a while, you could look at it. But I mean, there's hackers. Someone could be looking at your computer right now. So unless you absolutely have to look at your private key, you really shouldn't. But it basically looks kind of the same as your public key, and it kind of looks just like that with a bunch of letters and numbers. So when you hear people talk about private keys, and then you hear people mention passwords to the new user, I just want to point out that they're two different things. And if you have a hardware wallet, you may not have, there are some wallets out there that may not have a password, but there should be a password. But I know there were, like on some of the early wallets, if you go back in history, and maybe a lot of them aren't even used, it was basically like they posted the private key, and then they said, here's your public key, here's your private key, like hide your private key. And they wanted everybody to basically hide their private keys on their own. And now as the wallets have evolved, they were like, you know what? Let's stop showing this private key. Like, let's bury it a little bit, because too many people, when they didn't know about Bitcoin, they're like, hey, here's both my keys, like send me Bitcoin. They wanted Bitcoin so bad. It's like, here, what do I need to show you in order to get Bitcoin? So that's really the last thing I had written down, just to kind of get the new users acquainted with all the different terms.
Good. Yeah. Well, that's it. I don't have anything else really. One thing else I would say is, if you're a new user, or if you haven't yet, go to bitcoin.org and look at the documentation, and kind of read up on Bitcoin, and go to the resources. You can go to how it works, all that stuff, and learn about it if you're using it, because you want to really know about how it's pseudonymous. You may want to maintain transparency. You may want to be anonymous. So make sure you understand what you're doing with Bitcoin, as well as learning about what it is, and sharing the word with other people, obviously, and expanding adoption of Bitcoin, which is very important right now.
Yeah, and if you get really technical, the original white paper from the inventor is actually on the site bitcoin.org/bitcoin.pdf. It does have some technical stuff, so this definitely isn't for new users, but some people look for like the original white paper. So I usually, if I'm ever out at the bitcoin.org site, I usually go out to Bitcoin. I just show this in case anyone does want to dig into, what the original founder was actually talking about. It's got some pretty deep stuff, though. It's definitely not for new people. Yeah, that's where it all started. 2008, this paper came out, and all the people that are now Bitcoin developers started digging into it, and it just became revolutionary. Not just Bitcoin, but the blockchain, and just how the whole thing fit together. And it's just changing everything right now. So I don't have anything else. We could wrap this up. I guess Michael's out there watching this right now. Is he our first audience of our first video here?
Yeah, I was trying to get him on, and I was just checking my text there. I don't know if he was able to get on, but I can't see him.
You're probably getting a text like, "Dude, I heard you. I can hear you."
Yeah, but so, yeah, let's wrap this up, because obviously I got to get to work in the morning.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good, man. We'll do this again soon.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
All right. See ya.